Okay, so today we're going to be looking at quadratic functions. This is chapter 3 in the BC textbook for grade 11. So there's two things we need to remember when we're doing chapter 3 in quadratic functions. And this is standard form, which is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, and vertex form, which is y equals a bracket x minus p squared plus q. These will be important to help you graph and just to get through the chapter alive. So, to do our review, we're just going to go through one really big question, and we'll cover everything in this question. So, here we go. Because of a shipping error, you are overstocked on cinnamon roll frosting. If you add 5 grams of cinnamon rolls frosting to each bun, you will sell 50 buns in one day. However, for every extra 3 grams of frosting you add, you will sell 3 fewer buns. No one really likes frosting a whole lot. So what is the most amount of frosting that you can sell in one day? So we're just going to start by modeling this equation just simply, and we're not going to worry about standard or vertex form right now. So we have 5 grams plus 3 grams for every bun, in brackets, times 50 buns minus 3 buns for, there we go. So then we're going to actually, to convert this to standard form, we're just going to FOIL it out, and you can see I've done this right here. So, 5 times 50 and all that jazz. So that gives us y equals 250 plus 150b minus 15b minus 9b squared. And we can simplify this and write it in standard form exactly, which you can see I've done right here, which is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. See right there, simple, easy, but it's a little hard to graph in standard form. So why not convert it to vertex form? All right, let's do it. So how we do this is we complete the square, and right now in standard form we kind of have an equation that looks a little like this, and basically by completing the square we're just going to fill in this area, so we get a nice y equals a x minus p squared plus q. Simple as that. So first of all, we're going to add a value in here which is equal to b divided by 2 squared. So 15 divided by 2, you can see the b is 15 there, and this is, of course, this is after pulling out a factor right here. So we're going to go 15 divided by 2 squared, which is equal to 225 over 4. But now we have a bit of a problem, because this equation is not equal to this equation. It's significantly bigger. It's quite a bit bigger actually. So to fix this, we simply subtract 225 over 4 from 225 over 4, and now this equation is equal to the original standard form equation. But this isn't a factorable trinomial, so how are we going to convert it to vertex form? Well, we simply just multiply this subtracted value, we just multiply it, pop it out of the brackets, and then we add it to 250. So multiply that out, and that value gives us 756 and 1 over 4. So now we have this equation, y equals negative 9b squared minus 15b plus 225 over 4 plus 756 and 1 over 4. From there we can just simply factor it out. The greatest common factor here will be 15 over 2, so that gives us negative 9b minus 15 over 2 squared plus 756 over 4. And here we have our vertex form that we got from our standard form equation. Now, graphing vertex form is nice and easy because a is equal to the slope. Remember to think, is it positive or is it negative? P is equal to the vertex's x coordinate, and q is equal to the vertex's y coordinate. So now we're going to graph it. We can just look at, okay, let's find our vertex first. That's our starting point. So we look our x coordinate, and go 15 over 2, and our y coordinate 756. So here we have 15 over 2, and here we have 756 and 1 over 4. there's a vertex point. The coordinates are 15 over 2 and 756 and 1 over 4. That was pretty easy. So for the slope, just remember that if you had a standard exponential parabola, you would be increasing increments of 1, 3, and 5. But because our slope is -9, we'll be increasing of increments of -9, -27, and so on and so forth. So we're going to have a really steep slope here. But graphing our parabola is as simple as that. Look how nice it is. But that was a lot of work. So is there an easier way that we can graph this just from standard form? There is. We just have to remember that in standard form, where y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, that a is equal to a in vertex form, p in vertex form is equal to b in standard form divided by -2a, and q in vertex form is equal to c in standard form minus ap squared in standard form. So these three equations can help us find our slope, our x vertex, and our y vertex. So after plugging in these equations, we get a equals -9, p equals 15 over 2, and q equals 756 and 1/4. We'll graph this out and go find our vertex, find our slope, and we find that it actually looks exactly the same. And this is also a way that you can double check that you've done your work right. So we did that. Now we're going to look at our y value, which is grams of frosting, which is 756 and 1 over 4 grams of frosting, which helps us answer our original question. Of course, this is assuming that we sold 15 over 2 buns, which is kind of unreasonable unless you had half cinnamon bun for a snack and threw out the other one. Anyways, we have 756 and 1 over 4 grams of frosting. And that is chapter 3.